Today I want to invite you to pause for a moment, take a deep breath and feel that you are not alone, that God is with you from the moment your eyes open until nightfall. Today we will meditate and pray, inspired by Psalm 41, a song that reminds us that God remembers those who suffer, that He does not forget those who trust in His mercy, and that His mighty hand lifts those who are weak, ill, or weary in soul. This morning is not just another date on the calendar, it is a divine opportunity to feel His living presence, to let His voice touch the heart and renew our strength. Sometimes life can be hard, the days heavy, the battles long, and the tears seemingly endless. But those who take refuge in the Lord find comfort, direction, and hope. Psalm 41 teaches us that the Lord has compassion on those who act with kindness, that He protects and sustains them even when sickness, sadness, or betrayal attempt to bring them down. It is a promise of divine faithfulness for all who, despite the pain, keep believing, and that is the faith I want to awaken in you today. Dear brother, dear sister, as this new day begins, I want you to know that God looks at you with tenderness, even when no one else seems to. He knows the silent battles you face, the thoughts you share with no one, and the tears you have shed without speaking a word. Perhaps you have felt forgotten, perhaps the weight of your burdens has made you doubt whether God truly hears you. But today, the Lord reminds you that He sees every detail of your life, even what others fail to notice. Psalm 41 says that blessed is the one who considers the poor, for the Lord will deliver him in the day of trouble. And when the psalm speaks of the poor, it does not only refer to those in need of bread, but also to those with wounded hearts, to those who feel weak, betrayed, sick, or lonely. It is you whom God looks upon with compassion. He does not pass by your pain, nor does He remain indifferent to your tears. Today, as you lift your heart in this prayer, God tells you that He has not forgotten you, that even though it seems the world has moved on without you, He is still working in your story. Each day you wake, heaven renews its purpose over your life, and even if you do not yet see it, there are doors being opened, chains being broken, and blessings being prepared for you. God does not only hear your words, He also hears your silence. He hears when you sigh at the end of the day, and when your strength seems to fade. He knows when your smile hides deep exhaustion, and He knows when your heart longs for a rest it cannot find in this world. But the Lord promises to lift you up, to sustain you with His mighty right hand, and to remind you that there is still hope, even when the road seems long. In the darkest moments, when it feels like no one understands what you carry inside, God sits beside you. He does not judge you. He does not demand explanations. He simply looks at you with love and tells you to trust. Even if the process hurts, His purpose never ceases to be perfect, and while others may have turned their backs on you, He still believes in you. This morning, ask the Lord to give you the strength to keep going, even when you do not understand what is happening. Tell Him with humility that you need Him, that without Him you cannot move forward. And as you do, feel His presence surrounding you, His peace filling the empty spaces in your heart. Because when you pray sincerely, even if your words are few, heaven listens attentively. The psalm also says that the Lord will preserve him and keep him alive, and he will be blessed on the earth. That is a promise for you. It does not matter what you have lost or how much you have been hurt. God can give you new life, renew your soul, and fill you with joy where there once was sorrow. He can make everything that seemed lost gain meaning again. And as you listen to this prayer, allow your soul to rest. Do not rush, do not hurry. Simply stay here in silence, recognizing that God is with you, that He understands what you cannot explain, and that His love does not depend on what you have done right or wrong, but on who you are, a son, a daughter, deeply loved by your Creator. Close your eyes for a moment and say in your heart, Lord, thank you for seeing me when no one else does. Thank you for knowing my weakness and still calling me brave. Thank you for not letting me fall without reaching out your hand. May this morning be the beginning of a day filled with your presence, your peace, and your comfort. And as we continue in this prayer, remember that the God who sustains you in secret is the same who will lift you up in public. His faithfulness has no expiration date, His mercy has no limit, and His love does not fade with the storms. Dear brother, dear sister, Psalm 41 tells us that the Lord will sustain him upon his bed of sickness and will restore him from his illness. It is a powerful declaration of divine compassion, reminding us that God does not abandon those who suffer, but leans toward them with tenderness, lifting and renewing them. There are moments in life when the body weakens, but there are also moments when the soul grows ill, when hope fades and weariness feels stronger than faith. In those moments, when nothing remains but a sigh, God enters with his power and begins to heal. Perhaps you have felt like lying on a bed of pain, not necessarily physical but spiritual. Perhaps your soul has been lying silently, without strength to rise, without desire to pray, without motivation to go on. But today, the Lord draws near to you and says, "Do not fear, for I am your healer. I am the one who lifts you when your strength runs out." He does not ask you to be strong, only to trust, because his strength is made perfect in your weakness. God does not only heal what is visible, he also heals what no one can see. He heals the wounds left inside, the memories that still hurt, the disappointments that made you distrust others. He heals the mind that cannot rest, the thoughts that steal your peace and the fears that make you feel trapped. His healing is not superficial, it is deep. It enters the hidden places of the heart and restores them with love. Sometimes we think healing means everything going back to how it was before, but the truth is that when God heals, nothing remains the same because he makes it new. He does not patch, he transforms. And when he touches a life, he leaves an eternal mark, a peace that does not depend on circumstances. That is why even if you still feel pain, even if the situation has not fully changed, trust, because God is already working in you. The Lord knows every part of your suffering. He knows when fatigue makes you doubt, when tears become your language and when the night seems endless. But amid that pain, his promise remains firm. I will uphold you. And when God says he upholds you, it means you will not fall, that even if you stumble, he will be there to lift you again and again. This morning, let these words engrave themselves upon your heart. God sustains me in my sickness, in my weakness, in my fragility. Because in the world's eyes, weakness is defeat. But in God's eyes, weakness is the place where his power is revealed. It is there that he shows his glory, performs silent miracles, and turns tears into comfort. Imagine for a moment the hand of God resting upon you. A hand that does not judge, does not demand, but comforts. A hand that wipes your tired forehead and tells you everything will be fine. That is the hand of the Father who never abandons you, even when the world turns away, even when people forget. He remains there, patient and loving, waiting for you to trust him. Every word of Psalm 41 is a reminder that the Lord blesses those who trust in his mercy. You do not need to understand everything you are living through or have all the answers. You only need to believe that even in the midst of pain, God is still good. He can use your weakness to teach you dependence on his strength, your illness to show you that his grace is sufficient, and your loneliness to draw you closer to his heart. So this morning, as you pray, do not only ask for the pain to be taken away, also ask him to help you see his purpose in the midst of it all. Say, "Lord, give me peace in what I cannot change, and strength to trust you when I do not understand your silence. May this day not be just another one, but an opportunity to see your power at work, even in my fragility." And when you feel you can no longer go on, remember there is a God who never grows tired, a God who sustains you when your legs can no longer move, who covers you when fear surrounds you, and who embraces you when loneliness tries to overtake you. He is your refuge, your healer, your strength amid the brokenness. Remain silent for a few seconds. Breathe and feel how the Spirit of God surrounds you, how his peace settles upon you. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. God sees you, hears you, and is working right now in the depths of your soul. Dear brother, dear sister, Psalm 41 also teaches us that when the righteous are persecuted, when they are betrayed or unjustly criticized, the Lord rises to defend them. Because there are moments in life when it is not the sickness of the body that hurts, but the sickness of the soul caused by betrayal, misunderstanding, or the harsh words of those you once called friends. But even in those dark days, God does not remain silent. He observes, he knows the truth of your heart, and he promises that his justice will not delay, that his hand always vindicates his own at the perfect time. How many times have you kept silent in the face of unfair accusations? How many times have you wanted to explain your truth, but the Lord whispered deep in your soul, "Wait, I will speak for you." God is your defender, not because you ask him to be, but because his nature is to protect those who trust him. When others point at you, he covers you. When others walk away, he draws near. When others doubt you, he remembers your faithfulness and rewards you in secret. The psalmist said that his enemies desired his harm and hoped he would not rise again. Perhaps you too have felt that there are people who prefer to see you fall, who rejoice at your mistakes, who do not celebrate your victories. But do not fear, for the Lord will not allow your story to end in defeat. What others see as your end, for God is only the beginning of something new. He will not allow lies to have the last word, nor envy or malice to determine your destiny. God not only observes, he acts. In the silence where you think nothing is happening, he is preparing your vindication. And when the time comes, you will not need to defend yourself, for God will do it for you. Those who doubted you will see that the Lord was with you. Those who mocked your tears will recognize that it was God who sustained you. Because when he lifts someone up, no tongue or human judgment can stop his purpose. Remember that the Lord does not act out of anger but out of justice. He does not punish to harm but to correct, to show that his faithfulness is stronger than any attack. That is why, dear brother, dear sister, do not respond with the same fire the world uses. Do not return offense for offense or word for word. Let your silence be a sign of your trust in God, because he will fight your battles better than you ever could. When the heart is wounded by betrayal, it is natural to feel anger, sadness, or the temptation to close yourself off. But remember, the wound can also be an instrument God uses to purify you, to teach you to depend only on him, to make you wiser, gentler, and stronger. Sometimes God allows betrayal not to destroy you, but to remove what was never meant to walk beside you. Look back for a moment, and you will see that in the hardest times, God never left you alone. When human hands failed you, he held you with his Spirit. When you lost the support of those who claimed to love you, he gave you a new beginning. And when you thought it was all over, he showed that his plan was greater than any loss. The psalm reminds us that the Lord will have mercy and raise us up so that our enemies will not triumph over us. That means that even when everything seems lost, God has the last word. His defense is not measured by the speed of time, but by the depth of his purpose. What now feels like injustice will one day be the testimony of how the Lord was glorified in your life. This morning, give God that wound you do not understand. Say, "Lord, you know what I have been through. You know my heart. I release my desire for revenge. I trust in your justice and I rest in your truth. Let it be your hands that cleanse my name, your love that sustains me when pain wants to overcome me. And let my life, even in the midst of trial, be a living sign that you are my defender. Remain in peace. Do not worry if others do not understand your intentions, for those who have God's favor do not need the world's approval. What is true does not need to shout to be heard. For light, even when covered, always ends up shining. So it will be with you. Close your eyes for a moment and feel the peace of knowing that there is a God who fights for you. That you do not need to struggle in your own strength or exhaust yourself trying to prove what heaven already knows. He is working, clearing your path, preparing the vindication that will lift you beyond all that you thought you lost. And when the day comes, you will see that everything you lived through was not in vain. For the pain you endured made you stronger, the loneliness drew you closer to God, and the tears became seeds of a new season. The Lord does not forget those who trust in him. His defense comes at the right time, and when it comes, no one can stop his favor. Dear brother, dear sister, there are moments when life feels like an impossible weight to carry. Days when you feel that no one believes in you anymore, when your efforts seem invisible and your prayers seem unanswered. Those are the moments when the soul wears out, when faith wavers, and when God's silence feels louder than his voice. But listen with your heart. Even if everyone thinks you will not rise again, God still has plans for you. Psalm 41 is a song of hope for those who feel forgotten. In it, the psalmist acknowledges that many rejoiced at his fall, that they spoke of his misfortune as if everything were already lost. But in the midst of that abandonment, the psalmist clung to a truth. God does not stop what he has not finished, and his faithfulness is never interrupted by the judgment of others. Perhaps you too have felt that you were written off, that some stopped believing in your ability, that others pointed to your mistakes and closed doors on you. But what they do not know is that God is not guided by human opinions. He looks at the heart, he sees your effort in secret, your struggles, your tears, your sincere attempts to rise again. And when he sees that, he moves heaven itself in your favor. God does not abandon you when you fall. On the contrary, that is when he comes closest. When the world steps back, he bends down. When everyone thinks there is no more hope, he begins to write a new chapter. This is how the Lord acts. Where others see ruins, he sees restoration. Where others see failure, he sees preparation. Because in his kingdom nothing is wasted, neither pain, nor falling, nor tears. He uses everything to form in you a purpose greater than you can imagine. The psalmist said, "In my integrity you have upheld me and set me before your face forever." What a powerful phrase, because it means that when God lifts you up, he does so in a way that no one can deny. He not only restores what you lost, but he honors you in the presence of those who thought you would never stand again. It is his way of showing that his grace is greater than any mistake, that his mercy is stronger than any criticism. Remember this, you do not need to prove anything to anyone, only be faithful to God. Do not wear yourself out trying to convince others of who you are, because the Lord already knows you. He has already seen your heart, and that is enough. Others may doubt you, but God does not. He believes in you even when you stop believing in yourself. His love does not weaken when you fail, nor is his purpose cancelled when you pause. If he has decided to lift you up, he will do it, no matter how many times you have fallen. Sometimes falls are part of the plan, not because God delights in your pain, but because he knows that in weakness you find dependence, and in dependence you find faith. When you cannot go on, when your human strength ends, that is where you begin to see what God's power can truly do. Because while you thought you were losing, he was building something new inside you. Dear brother, dear sister, lift up your eyes. It does not matter who has written you off, nor how many walked away when you needed them most. God has not moved from his place. He is still there, steady, waiting for you to take his hand once more. Do not fear the process, because behind every test there is preparation. And although now it seems that everything is broken, the Lord is using each piece to form something beautiful, something you will only understand when you see the final result. Today tell the Lord, Father, even if I feel weak, I trust that you are my strength. Even if others have left me behind, I know that you lift me up. Even if my heart is tired, I know that your love renews me. I do not want to live by the opinions of men, but by the truth of your word. And as you speak those words, feel how a new hope begins to be born within you. Because each time you choose to believe in the midst of pain, heaven opens a little more. And each time you rise after a fall, the enemy loses a battle he thought he had won. The Lord will not lift you halfway. He will lift you completely. He will not only heal your body, but also your mind, your faith, your emotions. And when he does, he will place in you a peace that no one and nothing will be able to steal. Because when God restores you, he gives you more than what you lost. He takes you farther than you imagined, and he shows you that his purpose is greater than any stumble. Stay silent for a moment and let these words rest in your heart. You are not defeated. You are under construction. You are not forgotten. You are being prepared. And soon, very soon, you will see how the God who lifted you in secret will exalt you in public, so that all may see that his power is still real and that his love never fails. Dear brother, dear sister, Psalm 41 begins with a promise so profound that it often goes unnoticed. Blessed is the one who considers the needy. The Lord will deliver him in the day of trouble. It is a declaration that holds a powerful spiritual truth. God does not forget the heart that has shown compassion. He remembers those who extended a hand when others looked away, those who brought comfort without expecting a reward, those who helped even when they had little. That goodness you sowed in silence, those times you gave without receiving anything in return, are remembered by heaven. The world may not have recognized you, your gestures may have gone unnoticed, but God does not forget any of your works of love. Every time you were light in someone's darkness, you planted a seed in the field of divine mercy. And when your difficult day comes, when life puts you to the test, those seeds will bloom in the form of comfort, provision, miracles that arrive just when you need them most. God honors those who have honored others. He remembers noble hearts, those who act with sincerity, without seeking applause, moved only by love. Sometimes being kind in a world that rewards indifference may seem useless, but what many do not understand is that kindness is an eternal investment. What you give in love returns multiplied, and what you sow in faith, God makes grow in His perfect time. How many times have you helped someone in silence without saying so, without expecting thanks? How many times have you prayed for another when you yourself needed prayer? How many times have you given a word of encouragement when you yourself were discouraged? Those small things that seem invisible are the ones that move God's heart. He sees them, values them, and keeps them as treasures. The psalmist understood that mercy does not go unnoticed before the Lord, and perhaps today, dear brother, dear sister, you are going through a difficult time, and you wonder why things do not change, why the suffering does not end. But I want to remind you that God does not forget what you have done out of love. His justice is neither blind nor indifferent. He has an exact time to reward every act of compassion, every shed tear, every word you gave to uphold someone else. The Lord says that whoever shows mercy will be sustained in the day of distress. That means that even if pain knocks at your door, the mercy you once gave will return to you like a shield. What you sowed in tears will come back as blessing. Do not think your kindness was in vain, because good is never lost. It only multiplies in God's time. God has perfect memory. While many forget the good and remember only mistakes, He does the opposite. He erases your failures and remembers your acts of love. That is how different His justice is. And that is why when affliction comes, He does not let you fall, because He remembers what you did when you had the chance to do good. Dear brother, dear sister, do not let the coldness of the world extinguish your compassion. Being kind is not weakness, it is reflecting God's character. He calls you to be an instrument of His love, not only with words but with deeds that mark the lives of others. And when you do, you become an extension of His mercy on earth. Sometimes those who most need help do not say so. Sometimes the one who smiles the most is the one who suffers the most. That is why the Lord blesses those who look beyond appearances, who stop to listen, who comfort without judging, because that is the heart that looks like His, a sensitive, compassionate heart full of faith. If you ever felt that you were good to someone, and that person repaid you with indifference or ingratitude, do not lament. Heaven recorded that act of love, and God Himself will take care of rewarding you. The blessing will not come from the one you helped, but from the God who saw what you did. And when He rewards, He does so in a way that surpasses every expectation. Today, as you pray, tell the Lord, Father, I want to keep being compassionate, even when the world tells me it is not worth it. I do not want to harden my heart because of past wounds. I want to remain a channel of your love. Help me keep kindness alive in me, because I know you remember everything that is done in love. And as you speak those words, feel how the peace of the Holy Spirit envelops you. Because those who have been compassionate do not go without comfort, and those who have given without measure will receive in abundance. That is the promise of the just God, who never forgets those who sowed goodness, even in the midst of their own pain. Remain silent for a moment. Think of all the times you were an instrument of comfort, and give thanks, because those works remain alive before God. He has not forgotten you, nor your kindness, nor your dedication. Your mercy is a seed that will bloom in its time, and when it does, it will be so abundant that it will fill your life with gratitude, provision, and joy. The Lord says that the righteous will be remembered forever, and you are part of that promise. Do not be afraid to keep sowing love, because love never returns empty. It always comes back multiplied by the hands of the faithful God who sees everything.